Hello, and welcome to the Solomon Islands. My name is Roy, and I am 17 years old, and I will be your host as we explore how it takes me and the other young people like me. It take World Vision Solomon Island, and it actually take a world to end violence against children. With me is Ellen from the World Vision. Ellen, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience and tell us a little bit about World Vision in Solomon Island?
Thank you, Roy. Hello, everyone. My name is Ellen Kahui, and I am the project coordinator for the Ending Violence Against Children project here in World Vision Solomon Islands. It is a partnership project between World Vision, Save the Children, and Child Fund. So we are the implementing partners of this project here in Solomon Islands, and we also have our different target locations in which we conduct our activities in. And the overall goal of our project is to ensure that all children in Solomon Islands are safe and protected from violence and also participate as active agents of change. So that is a brief about my role and the SIEVAP Project here in Solomon Islands.
Thank you, Ellen. To set the context for our listeners and viewers, let me paint a picture of Solomon Island and where I grew up. Solomon Island is a very beautiful country, and my community is located in the east of Honiara, the capital city of Solomon Island. And I love to eat milk rice and playing soccer. And however, climate change has negatively impacted my community. So Ellen, tell me more about Solomon Islands.
Thank you, Roy. You're right. Solomon Islands is a beautiful country with a mixture of races. We have Melanesians here, Polynesians here, as well as Micronesians. Yeah? So we have diverse cultures, but we are also well known for our rich heritage when it comes to natural resources. However, we are prone to natural disasters such as climate change, sea level rise, earthquakes, tsunamis, and the list goes on. And it is an everyday battle that all of us Solomon Islanders are faced with every day.
Thanks for talking about how we're prone to natural disasters. With the kind of infrastructures we have, we feel very vulnerable. What kind of natural disaster has World Vision respond to the Solomon Islands?
Thank you, Roy. So as I've mentioned earlier, facing natural disasters is an everyday battle for us Solomon Islanders, yeah?
Yep.
But since it has become part of our everyday lives, we tried our best to come up with adaptive ways, yeah, on how we could respond to those natural disasters. Because disasters are here to stay, and it is us who need to adapt, yeah? In order to live with the changes in our environment. And World Vision Solomon Islands has done a tremendous job in responding to natural disasters. Yeah? Say, for example, currently we have projects that are focused on climate change, such as the Nature-Based Solutions Project. And this project works mainly to address climate change impacts and ensure that people in our communities are aware and are responsive to any natural disasters they may face. And some of the natural disasters that World Vision Solomon Islands has responded to include tsunami, cyclone, flash flood, as well as earthquakes. Yes, Ron.
It's easy to talk about climate change in the Solomon Islands because you can see it. Back in my village, we usually get water from the wells. However, the climate change impact, it negatively impacts our lives. This is, everyone knows the Pacific Islands nation are beautiful, and that we're facing the brunt of the climate change. But Ellen, let me ask you this. What do you think our audience doesn't know about the vulnerabilities facing the children of this country?
Thank you, Roy. There are a lot of vulnerabilities children faced with when it comes to natural disasters. Yeah. One is children are denied the right to a healthy meal. How? As a result of landslide, as a result of sea level rise, etc. They are also denied the right to protection, as sometimes children they have to travel long distances in order to help fetch clean water for their families. And who knows what danger they might encounter along the way, yeah? More so, the high percentage of violence against children in the Solomon Islands is no joke. Because according to the Unseen Unsafe report in which the Ending Violence Against Children project stems out from, it is recorded that out of the overall child population of Solomon Islands, which is 295,399 children, 72% of the overall child population experienced violence in all forms, yeah? And this is an alarming issue for us. Therefore, World Vision Solomon Islands, in partnership with Save the Children and Child Fund, and I know all other child protection stakeholder partners in Solomon Islands as well, we are working together with one common goal, and that is to ensure that our children are safe and protected from violence and have their voices amplified on issues that affect them.
The prevalence of violence in my country is increasing at the alarming rate now. And I am very sad to see this.
So
Parents beating their children as a way of disciplining has become an accepted norm. And this is not right. Instead, positive parenting should be upheld to enable children to grow up in an environment that is conducive for them to grow and thrive. Also, the cultural norms that hint children to speaking out on issues that affecting them is one of the many reasons I am speaking here today to advocate about the violence against children on behalf of the children in my beloved country and the Pacific region as a whole.
Yes.
This is because I believe that children have the equal right to participate, to survive, to life, good health, protection, and so on. So Ellen, tell me more about Solomon Island World Vision.
Yes, thank you, Roy. World Vision Solomon Islands is doing a lot when it comes to addressing violence against children. You see, our projects are helping communities through doing awareness, trainings, etc. to help get the message out there, yeah? And also to encourage people to understand positive ways of parenting, yeah? Example, we train our parents and caregivers, faith leaders, community leaders, as well as children, and to know more about child protection. And we also advocate for legislative reform when it comes to child protection. And one of our latest advocacy campaign is called the Make It 18 campaign. Yeah, this campaign is focused on the importance of raising the current marriage age in our Islanders Marriage Act from 15 years up to 18 years old. Reason being, for a child to get married at 15 years is not right, because in accordance to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of a Child, as well as our country's Child and Family Welfare Act, it defines children as a person that is below the age of 18. Yeah? However, the current marriage age in our Islanders Marriage Act does not align to the definition of children. So yes, the SIEVAP Solomon Islands Coalition is advocating for the increase of the marriage age up to 18. Yeah, and therefore we are also calling on all citizens to help us amend this section of the Act, yeah? And in order to have the marriage age increase. And apart from that, apart from the Make It 18 campaign, It Takes a World is also one of World Vision's largest ever campaign, working with governments, faith leaders, children, and their communities to end violence against children.
Yeah.
So globally, the campaign has impacted the lives of 268 million children across the world. And in Solomon Islands, we have impacted the lives of many children, their families, and their communities as well.
I myself have been impacted by the World Vision Solomon Island, and it takes a world campaign. I personally know the impacts of the World Vision World because I have been engaging with World Vision, especially the Changemaker Movement in 2023, which was conducted online, and also engaging with project teams as they are implementing the project at my community in Honiara. This includes the trainings about conflict resolution that enable us youth in the Lau Valley community to learn how to deal with conflicts and solve them using problem-solving steps certified by the Australian Aid. The project also worked with police to roll out the family protection within Honiara's community, including my community, and so we learn about the act to protect the victim of violence, many women and children. Now, to those engagement, I feel proud that I build my confidence to speak up on any issues that matters to us children in the Solomon Islands. This has helped my education, as I can confidently ask and talk to teachers. The engagement also enable me to see my potential and build my capacity as the future of my nation. Also, to protect trainings, I learned the skills of anger management, solving conflicts, and understanding my rights as a child to protect against the violence. During the Changemaker Movement on May 18, it was my first time to be part of such an event. At first, I was nervous, especially during the preparation. But as I went into the room and everyone welcomed me, I felt calm and confident.
But you were amazing, Roy. I mean, during in delivering your presentation, you were absolutely amazing, and we were also proud of you. And I also know that prior to going to New York, you have several meetings and discussions with some of our government ministries to help with in terms of preparation for the event. So can you tell me a bit more about which government ministry you visited and have discussions with in regards to your preparation?
So yes, before I went to New York, I had an opportunity to meet with Ministry of Environment, Climate Change, and the Disaster Risk. It was a good meeting as I learned from the ministries on their work on disaster areas.
Thank you, Roy. So, as we all know, the Changemakers Moment is an important event for World Vision and for what we believe in, yeah? And that's the beauty of the It Takes a World campaign too, because it really does take a world to make a difference. So thank you, Roy, for sharing. There was so much happening in the background, so much that even happened before the event, and so much that happened after the event. And also, there'll be so much more that will continue to happen into the future. I mean, there's a reason the campaign is called It Takes a World campaign. It's because so many different elements, they tend to come together to successfully and positively impact the lives of vulnerable children at scale.
Yes, it is important for a voice like mine to be heard.
Indeed.
At such high-level platforms. We need the UN mission to hear young people like me and do call to action.
Indeed, Roy. We hope and pray that these efforts will pay off for every girl and boy in Solomon Islands and also around the world. And while we've impacted thousands of girls and boys, this experience must have surely also impacted you as an individual, right?
Yes, indeed.
That's great to hear, Roy. So the dream is clear in our hearts and heads, the child well-being and life in all its fullness for every girl and boy. And we know what the solutions are, and that's the dream. Roy, is that the same for you?
Ellen, if we have to talk about vulnerable children and what needs to be done, we will never get this recording done in time. and my dreams for the children of my country to be safe, good, and being protected from violence.
And we can make that happen together, yeah?
Yes, for sure.
Because after all, it takes a while to make that happen. I mean, we can face challenges along the way, and it can get discouraging at times too, because this process of change is slow. But we need to keep encouraging each other as we go forward. Right, Roy?
Yes, for me, as a young youth of Solomon Island, having the opportunity to advocate on behalf of my fellow youth, children, and this nation, I will continue to speak, as that is the way I see we can achieve better for our children, youths. So thank you for the platform that gave us and the other me a voice. But as we close, Ellen, if there's one thing that our audience could do to support us, what do you think that would be?
Thank you, Roy. That would be a call to action to end violence against children.
Thank you, Ellen.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys. It takes you to end violence against children in Solomon Islands and around the world. Thank you for joining us on Stories of Change as we bring hope, joy, and justice for all children. Thank you, Roy.
My pleasure.
And thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye
now.